Welcome back to Urban Regenerative Gardening. I'm going to show you how to garden without buying fertilizers, pesticides, how to seed save, and just how to do regenerative gardening in an urban environment. Uh, I figured I'd do an update, like a kind of a mid-season update on my garden here. I'm doing a garden extension out here. I did a bunch of short videos, and if you guys like the longer videos, I'm sorry, I haven't done a long video in a while because I noticed the algorithm just doesn't put out the long videos, so it doesn't get any views. But I also realize I need to do some longer videos once in a while to for people who want more details, of what's going on. It's kind of hard to get into details on stuff when you're doing short videos. But that's what the algorithm's doing these days. Anyway, let's see here. Just update on everything. These here potatoes, I started these potatoes inside just by cutting the eyes off of the potatoes, and I was still able to consume the potatoes. And I started them inside, and what I did was I started like at the bottom. I planted them in the bottom, and I just keep adding soil. This one I didn't add much soil yet. This one here, I pretty much added enough soil where I'm close to the top. I might put a little more. It kind of settled in there. This one still needs some more soil also. And then this one here, I noticed they were really sickly looking, and one day it rained really hard, and it was just like, it wasn't draining. And what I did, I drilled holes in the bottom of all of these, like 4 or 5 holes, something like that, in each one. Pretty good sized holes. And I did the same, I thought, well, maybe I forgot, and I looked. No, there was holes. But for some reason, it still wasn't draining. And so one day, they just kept looking more and more sickly looking, and finally one day I just came out here with a drill, and let's see if I can find it. Yeah, I put a little hole here. And the water just poured right out, and I was like, oh man, that was the problem. So, I actually noticed here, I'll show you, on my raised bed here, I did the same thing over here on my raised bed. I started these inside, the same way, and put them out here. I noticed here, this guy's hanging over really, really far. So what I'm thinking about doing to try and put this pot to some use. I'm gonna try to get sneaky here and put these right inside here, like this, and let them take root. What do you think, guys? You think that might work? Leave a comment. That helps out my channel, by the way, if you leave comments. So, what I might do in the process here, I might take some of this dirt out first, get a little lower, and then fill the dirt back in. This is all homemade compost here too. I do a lot of compost making. I'm very busy making compost. So I think I might take some of that dirt out, get them down nice and far in there, throw the dirt back in. Plus I have some other good stuff like off the side. I'll probably use that. And then just wait, give it at least 2 or 3 weeks or whatever, and then all I'll do is I'll cut these off up here once I feel like they've been taking root in here. I'll cut these off and then put it back over there where I had it. So let me know, you think that'll work, or stay tuned and we'll see how it goes. Let's see what else I got going on here. This whole row here was my garlic row, except for this where it's new here. I put the from here over is new. And last year from here to here was new. And I noticed last year I filled in the new area with compost, and then I planted immediately. And I noticed the first couple weeks the stuff looked pretty kind of sickly looking almost, you know. Just wasn't doing anything. And just barely kind of hanging on. Then just all of a sudden it just blew up. Started growing really fast. And I thought, I think it took a while for the soil, the new compost that I had filled in, to get acclimated. And so this year I did something different. I just kind of rigged this up and put this in place. Not, it's not exactly the way I want it, but I just wanted it to be able to get the dirt in here and let the dirt age. So I waited about 2.5 weeks before I planted anything in here. And I really only did the one plant. And all these plants were around the same size. Here, check this out. Boom, 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 boom. They're all about the same size when I put them in. And what do you know? This guy is doing better than all the rest of them. So I'm thinking my plan worked. And if you're wondering why the weeds are in here, in regenerative gardening, the life gets supported by the roots. Like the roots of these weeds are sending out sugars to the bacteria that's in the ground. And so I figured part of the acclimation of the soil would be to just let these weeds grow. I'm going to take the weeds out now because one of the things I'm going to do in the next couple days, one of the projects I have is to get this like nice and get it leveled out, get it deeper into the ground, get it leveled out. I got a board here, board over there I'm going to put on the end here, like a new board. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that, and then I can finish planting. Probably put another plant here, a couple on the other side. And what I do is, another thing I like to do when I put stuff outside from starting them inside, I like to put these shade covers up, because some of these really hot, dry days can be really hard on new plants when you put them out. And so when you put the shade covers up, it goes a long way to protect them on these really hot, like 90-degree days where it's just sun all day long. It's really hard on a brand new plant that's been inside, in your, not used to being in the sun. So that's why I put these shade covers up. I built these little deals here to hold them. I use different kinds of clamps and stuff here to hold them in place. So that's that. That's one project I gotta do in the next couple days. This is just a tomato that came up out of nowhere. Probably put a stake on that eventually. Let's see what else I got going. Just gonna giving you a tour here in the garden, in case anybody's interested. There's my tomatoes. Sometimes I get tomatoes I put extensions on these tomatoes, like another 8-foot extension deal. I use this ladder to tie them up. So stay tuned for that. Sometimes I get them 12, 13, 14 feet high, just to see how high I can get them. It's kind of fun. And then these are my early string beans. A couple years ago I added on to this garden area over here in the end so that I can get more peas. That's my early peas that are just kind of fizzling out now. I just replanted. I tried one replant with the old seeds I had and didn't get. You can see I just got a little bit of partial success here and there. I just went and bought new seeds and put new seeds in for my kind of like my fall crop of peas. And I got a lot of different things in here. I got some pepper plants. Yeah, they're coming in pretty nice. Rutabaga, cabbage. And then this thing just came out of nowhere. I don't know. I'm not even sure what this is. I just let it grow. Might be a spaghetti squash. Let's see what it puts out here eventually. Anyway, I got some celery in there too. So this is my early string beans. I do an early batch of string beans over here. And then once I pull my garlic out, I start string beans inside like a week and a half before I plan on pulling my garlic. And then I just put them in right after the day, same day, next day, or whatever. I put in string beans. Today's the 15th, 16th of July, and I put these in around the 5th. So about 11 days ago. These were just tiny little starter plants. And probably 2 weeks from now, I'll be picking string beans off here, maybe, with any kind of luck. And yeah, I just kind of let dill. Over here used to be a dill patch, and I just kind of let the dill come back over here. I noticed it attracts a lot of. You can kind of, see if I can hold it on here. Not a good time of day, but when the sun really gets going late in the day, you come out here and it's just teeming with life. So I just let it. I like to let that just kind of happen because it attracts a lot of different pollinators. Excuse me. And I just think it's really cool to see the variety of life that these dill plants attract. Then I got I had some lettuce plants inside. I like to grow my lettuce inside because it's so much cleaner. Like when I want to make a sandwich or something, I don't have to worry about like the dirt being on the, when it rains, it splashes up dirt on the leaves. So I just do my lettuce inside. And I had some ones that they were bolting, they were done. I just put them out. I put them outside. This is how I do my seed saving for lettuce. You have to have more than one so they can kind of cross-pollinate and stuff. So I thought that'd be a good place to put them in. This is my carrot patch here. Carrots can be difficult to get started, to germinate. And I saw this on a video where they mixed the carrots with radishes, and what happens is the radishes protect the carrots when they're young, and they said start at the same time because the radishes grow so much faster. And I noticed it didn't quite work out that good last year. This year I started the radishes first, and then like a few days, and then put the carrot seeds in. They seem to be protecting them better. And also I like the flowering too, that's another pollinating thing that happens too. So, but definitely worked a lot better than it did. I was frustrated for years trying to get, spending all that money on carrot seeds and then just watching your carrots like not do anything. It was so frustrating. But ever since I started mixing them with the radish plants, I'm getting better results. I actually think I might do like the radishes a whole week before the carrots next year, because they do, even though they grow a lot faster, they still take some time. So, and I'm still figuring out, how, you know, I might have used too many radish seeds this year. So, how much radish seeds to actually use, and, so I'm still fine tuning it. So next year I'm thinking maybe go a little easier on the radish seeds, and a few days earlier, like a week before the carrots. And I do them like early April, late March. Maybe put the radish seeds in like late March, and then come back a week later, early April, put the carrot seeds in, or maybe even a couple weeks later. It just depends. Sometimes some years they just feel colder than others. If it feels like a cold year, maybe wait. Bump that up a week or two, like mid-April. You gotta kind of feel it out. And here I got some herbs. That's a sage, and that's a rosemary there. This pepper starting to come on. It wasn't really doing much, but it's starting to come on now. Got some pepper on it too. There's some cabbages that didn't quite do as good as other ones, but they're coming along now. And this area here has a lot of stuff that's ready to harvest. This here cabbage is ready to harvest. And rutabaga, huge rutabaga. Celery's ready to harvest. Some more celery, some more cabbage. Another gigantic rutabaga. So part of my health routine I do is I rotate on and off. I do keto 1 month, and then I go off. But when I go off keto, I still stay away from processed foods big time. Like, I don't eat any highly processed foods. So I make my own foods, and I've been leaning more and more toward like grass-fed beef and eggs and raw milk and things like that. And so I'll make a batch of soup. I make huge batches of homemade soup, like homemade beef soup, vegetable beef soup, and for the keto months, instead of putting potatoes in the soup, I put these rutabagas in the soup. So, put 2 or 3 of these huge rutabagas in there. Probably a good 3 of them or something. And cabbage, celery. So I got carrots, cabbage, celery, rutabaga, string beans, peas, that are all ready to go in the batch of soup here in a couple days. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to harvest all of this stuff from here all the way down to here and make a huge batch of soup. And then I got plants inside ready to go. I noticed this area, cabbage did a lot better than other areas in the garden. So what I plan on doing is putting mostly cabbage out here. When I harvest all this stuff's going to get mostly replaced by cabbage. And I have some celery upstairs too, so I'll put a couple celery plants in Probably maybe a good 5 or 6 more fresh new cabbage plants out here. And then what I'm thinking about doing here is, since those plants on the other side there are established now, I'll probably move this. Well, not probably. I'm definitely gonna move the shade cover over onto this side to protect the new plants I just put out. Give them, for at least 2 or 3 weeks, or 2 weeks, something like that, till they get established. Then I can just take down the shade cover, and and then I'll see how. Like right here, this celery's ready. I'll probably put a cabbage there too, and then put a couple more cabbage plants out here on the end here. Since this side is where the cabbage seems to be doing good. Plus, the way that one's growing over there, I got a good feeling about putting a couple new cabbages over here in this brand new soil. Like I said, I can get all them weeds down there and level up this nice, and get the new ends on here and stuff, and just get it all looking really good. And let's see, is that it? So, well, if you're enjoying this, I should say it in the middle of the video more, but I end up forgetting saying it toward the end. Like and subscribe, leave comments. Try to keep them nice comments. Anyway, yeah, I guess that's all. I think that's the whole garden tour update for y'all. So, well, see you in the next video. Like and subscribe. Bye.